The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Blackjack, a warlock of sneaky Coyote.
I'm Johnnie Payne, and I play Twitch Grimfoot, a Ratfolk Necromancer.
I'm Brook Bullock, and I play Ziansi, a Spiderkin rogue.
Hi, I'm Ash King, and I'm playing Sintra Redmaw, Paladin of the Bone Mother.
And I'm Kyri Hester, and I'm playing Billy, a possum fighter.
And I'm Connor Shennold, and I play Jaska, the Yote Ranger. And today, I am also your Dungeon Master. Welcome to Tales from the Ironwoods.
I don't have a tail.
After a successful fight against Ma and her guardsmen, you make your way back to the Snaggletooth Burrow. Ebb, the goblin who you've tied up, follows silently behind you as you make your way through the brush before you reach the same large tree with a hollowed-out hole beneath it. A small goblin is inspecting the food you'd left behind. Upon hearing you coming back, the goblin dives back into the burrow.
Perception check just to notice anything, like if kind of the same emaciated look and things like that.
Yeah.
16.
So before he had managed to fully dive back into the burrow, you see a very small, what you would assume to be about a teenage goblin.
I think that was a younger one.
Well, I think maybe we should try to find a way to talk to them and let them know that Ma has died in as good a way as possible. I vote for Sintra.
We don't still have Fig with us, right?
She's been following behind you guys, but she's kind of hiding right now.
Okay.
How about the extra wolves that were there? Did they scatter?
Yeah, they ran.
Yeah.
Okay,
ran.
that's what I thought. I remembered.
They're wild now.
So what I will do is, again, 7-foot tall Gnoll, huge, probably would never be able to get down into the burrow. I will sit down, cross-legged. The little one, we've returned.
And we have bad news!
Gently reach up and, put my hand over Billy's mouth.
Oh, well, what would the bad news be? Is there any good news to go with it?
Well, the good news is there are still members of your clan remaining. The bad news is, unfortunately, Ma was not open to negotiating, so we had to deal with her with deadly means.
The response from the burrow is quiet for a moment before you hear the quiet sound of footsteps approaching. And you see a very small teenage goblin appearing in the dark. Oh, you killed Ma.
Not because I wanted to.
It's true, we really did try to talk to her.
Well, do you guys know what we do from here?
Yes, of course. We know that you are welcome into the other clan. They're more than willing to take you in.
At least we're pretty sure. We did not ask, but we're pretty sure.
They have a really nice burrow.
I've heard, but I don't know too much about them.
Well, they are actually doing quite well here in the Ironwoods. They trade with the local gnolls, which means you would probably be gainfully employed.
And they have a lot more meat on their bones than you do.
Oh, so they get fed?
Yeah.
Oh. And you see his face looks a little bit more excited about the talk of food. So they'll feed us?
Oh, yes, of course. See, the way the economy works is that they make something that they can then trade for goods and services.
and those goods then make sure that you have food and everybody is fed and everybody has a good shelter to live in. But of course, the nice thing is that unlike having to worry about whether you can rob from somebody, is you don't have to wait for the right person to come around to rob. You could actually then be making money on a regular basis.
My Spiderkin people have been living that way for a long time. We used to be hunters and gatherers, but now, it's different, but it's a much better way to live.
Right.
I only know how to steal, but if they're willing to take us in, are they taking all of us in or just me?
How many of you are inside of that burrow?
He thinks for a second. I'll be back. And he runs back into the burrow. A few seconds later, he comes back. Did we count the babies too?
Well, yes.
Yes.
Are you talking about other wolves, or are you just the goblins, or the wolves and the goblins?
Well, Ma took the wolves with her.
Those are the only wolves you had?
Yeah.
Ah, well, I'm afraid they might have run off.
Oh.
So how many of you are there?
Well, there's myself and there's 12 others in there, including the babies.
So 13.
Yeah, and then he pokes his head out and sees that you guys have Ebb tied up. Oh, 14.
So, of course, 14 of you.
14 poor, starving, empty bellies. You're right. This was a good thing.
In what way?
You said a moment ago we need to tell them that we killed their mother in a good way.
Well, there you go, yes. And on the positive side, I believe if you would come with us, we could integrate you into this society that I think you would be then fed and taken care of. Learn a trade, which is very important, rather than just stealing from whoever would happen to come along.
You must be good, goblins. No more steal.
Okay, what are the other goblins like? I heard they're real close to the gnolls. Do they, glue fur to their bodies?
No, they're just like you, but they just happen to
They're just
fatter.
like you, but fancier.
Oh.
So, if you want to go down there and tell your kin that they can gather up whatever it is they want to carry and bring over, you could go with us, and we will lead you to the Crooked Fang clan, and hopefully they will accept you in. If not, you're welcome to join us.
Now that your pa and your ma are dead, you're orphans. So you're ripe for adventure.
Well, only Ebb knows where they're at. The rest of us in there didn't ever go to their
No,
lair.
exactly. That's why you'll follow us.
Oh, okay.
We're all going to go together.
I thought you said we'd meet you there.
No. You go down and tell your kin
Okay.
to gather up all their stuff, whatever it is they want to carry, and we will all go together as one big group. And that way we're all safe. We'll all get the babies to a place where they can grow up big and strong, and it'll be wonderful.
Okay, I'll go grab our stuff, the people, and he scurries down into the burrow.
Sintra. Do goblin babies ride on goblin backs? Like babies possums?
No, Billy. You have to carry them.
They helpless babies.
Most offspring of most races tend to be pretty helpless starting out.
Of course, if you're carrying them, then if one drops off, you don't notice that it fell away like it happened to you.
Don't talk to my possum like that.
No, I was...
Because you're bringing up very bad traumas for my poor possum.
Sintra, flashbacks. They come.
Jaska steps forward. Now, let's not fight, y'all. I apologize on Blackjack's behalf, Billy. You were just kind of upfront with that when we first met you, so we didn't know it was still kind of a sensitive topic. Mudman lifts a mud hand and just pats your head, and it gets the mud.
Thank you, Mudman. I know you mean best, but maybe not now.
Okay.
Go practice with your sword.
Okay.
So how long does it take them to gather their stuff?
It takes them about 10-15 minutes. The younger goblin is leading the way, and he leads out stragglers of the elderly, way more old-looking than Ma herself looked. And then any younger-looking ones are ones who have younger baby goblins strapped in a nice little carrier onto their chest.
Sintra, they do carry them on their backs. They tie them in. Ingenious. Then the possums, they no fall off. They are tied.
It's like your tail and the loops on my armor.
Because goblins have no tails. And he just grabs his book and starts drawing a picture of a goblin with a circle around their butt.
The goblins that came out of the burrow eye you all very warily and glance over at where you have Ebb tied up, and Ebb just kind of gives them a nod to silently tell them that everything's okay.
And if you've decided that everything is okay, we would certainly like to untie you. There's no reason for you to be tied up if you're willing to join along with what we're trying to do. You are now the de facto leader of the Snaggletooth clan.
He's quiet for a moment before he says, "If these crooked fangs are willing to help and keep my wife and our child safe, I will be willing to join up with them."
I wasn't aware that you yourself had a family.
It's not uncommon for people to have families, even goblins.
I understand. I've never wanted to start a family. As being one of 22 siblings, I have no interest in starting more. But I am very proud of you, Ebb, for making this decision for your family to move on.
Billy hops down
Thanks.
and goes to untie Ebb's ropes and will make meaningful eye contact as if to say, "Watch it. Be a good goblin."
I'd like to insight him.
Billy or the
goblin.
Okay.
Okay, it's only an 8, so I believe him.
He's a reformed goblin.
He's okay, yeah. He's
Totally reformed.
Yeah, totally.
If the rest of you would like, you guys can also give an insight.
I have a 19.
Hey.
Wow.
The 1 at 1 for
Okay.
a 4.
Okay. So, Billy, you kind of get the sense that although he doesn't care for the Crooked Fangs, he cares for his family.
You are
And-
good father.
Thank you.
Do not leave baby in forest. It is cold. And he scampers away.
And Ebb joins up next to what you would assume to be his wife and their baby that she's carrying. Ebb says, "We don't know too much about the Crooked Fangs. Ma only sent us to try and take over. But if they're willing to take us in, then we'll join them." And Fig comes out of the trees and sees that you guys have kind of calmed down the situation, freed Ebb, and she approaches you guys. "Do you want me to go on ahead and tell them that you're bringing people?"
Please,
Okay. You guys good on finding your way back?
we'll find our way back.
Okay.
We have Jaska.
She looks over at Jaska. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
When you tell them that you're bringing new people, they're going to want to know who. And I'm sure you're going to tell them who, right?
Yeah.
Let them know that there has been a change and they're under new leadership now, so that we don't walk into an ambush where they think that we're coming to attack. We got to set the tone here.
Yeah, I'll relay everything that happened.
All right. So, what is your name to the team?
Oh, I'm Tack.
Tack. If you've got everything you need, I say we head on our way.
Yeah, we didn't have much to begin with, so it looks like that's all we got. Let's head out, and Ebb will follow after you all. You all travel for a little while with Tack asking all kinds of questions of the Crooked Fangs. They make, like, poison, right? Like that shimmery moon stuff?
Well, it's poison in the sense that alcohol can be poisonous to certain individuals. But no, Shiny Moon, it's a drink.
Ow.
You drink it for fun. Adults drink it for fun.
Ow. And you see their disappointed look.
Give it a couple more years and then you too can enjoy some Shiny Moon.
A couple of hours go by with Tack kind of just asking random questions here and there. He's a very insistent little teenager. Before you finally start to make your way back to where the Crooked Fangs are. Coming out of the trees, you see a goblin on the back of a goat heading your way. The goat very quickly bounds its way over, and you see a older goblin with a shock of white hair and a scar on his face. Welcome. You guys didn't get a chance to meet me earlier. I'm Pops. I'm here to meet with the Snaggletooths that you brought with you.
Yes, Pops. Apparently Fig had made it back and informed you.
Yes.
that These 14 members are in desperate need of a home.
We're willing to set them up with one, as long as they're willing to pull their weight and batter the Crooked Fang gang, we're willing to take them on.
But I think if you start them out young, which many of these are, very young, you should be able to take them in and teach them your trade.
I subtly push Ebb forward as he's like the quote-unquote highest ranked remaining member of the Snaggletooth.
Pop's Crooked Fang, Ebb Snaggletooth. Ebb should be your go-to point of contact, as he is your highest remaining member out of their old hierarchy. So he would probably be the best one to at least start your discussions with.
Very well. Ebb, it's nice to meet you. I will show you where we can hole you up, and we'll talk a little further along our way. The rest of you, Papa would very much like to know exactly what happened. If you don't mind, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you like in our burrow.
Much appreciation to you and yours.
So we'll head on down into the burrow again.
Pops takes the Snaggletooths and leads them away, and you all head back to the old crumbling building and make your way once again into the Crooked Fangs burrow. Pretty similar sight when you walk in. Since the rain's passed, most are tending to farm work, but there are a few still down here. And as you walk in, Papa gives out a greeting. Welcome back. I hear much has happened since you all last left.
Papa Crooked Fang, meet Mudman! And Billy motions towards his shoulder, where Mudman just raises his tiny little sword in a salute and then puts it in his body. Like he doesn't have a belt to hold his sword, he just kind of puts it in the mud. Oh, also, I am no more Billy Possum. I am Billy Possum, King of Mudman. I'm working on the specific title. Congratulations to me.
Well, congratulations on your promotion, Billy, King of Mud Meefits.
What is Meefit?
And he gestures to Mudman on your shoulder. That's a Meefit.
Ow! Tweet, you said this Mudman.
And you call me Mouse Man.
All is man.
So you asked, you said you wanted to hear the whole story. I think our general's tired and should probably rest their feet. Why doesn't our lore master Blackjack regale our adventure?
You knew that when we left. Mags had brought me the Rose of Good Luck, and so I had taken that, and we actually found Fig along the way. And we also found a stone which had I didn't see anything on that, but apparently it's a weapon of some kind.
It was a dagger.
Told you, it's a
Billy is using...
Billy brings it out. What you see?
I see a club.
No. He puts it back.
Very weird. But that's also where we found, of course, our Mudman. We did try to talk to Ma Snaggletooth to try to bring her in and stop her from attacking your people. But she did not seem too friendly to doing that, and unfortunately we had to dispatch her.
We stopped her, all right.
Yes.
We stopped her permanently.
Yes, I did.
And we came across the rest of the Snaggletooth clan, and they are starving and are in need of help and leadership. And Papa, I think you are the perfect person to lead what is a lot of them, the younger generation, into learning how to be better goblins.
Why, thank you. Yes, we will certainly do our best to make them feel at home here. Now, feel free to rest here for the night. I know it's been a long day. We can set up some tents up top. It might be too cluttered down here for you guys. But feel free to stay on our farmstead for as ever long as you like. And we're most gracious for you. And Sintra, once you're done with dealing with whatever is happening with the Ironwoods, we'll talk further about expanding the Shiny Moon trade down to Shada.
Shada is definitely in need of good Shiny Moon, so I will be back.
I look forward to it.
Sintra, we brought them employees to make their operation. You are so smart. You are so diplomatic. I am very proud of you, and your mother be also.
Thank you, Billy.
So you all make your way out of the burrow, find a nice little patch to set up your tents for the night.
I stretch out, finally. Big, huge Gnoll in cramped goblin burrows.
Sintra, can I use your water bottle?
Yes.
Mine is very small. So he takes Sintra's big water bottle and he finds a little patch of dirt. He moves the leaves out of my way with leaves. And he makes a little mud puddle for Mudman. You sleep here.
He wants you to lay down next to him.
Okay, I can do that. I'm good at cuddling.
Sintra, I'm so dirty.
Everybody back home calls me the best cuddler.
He says he's not one for cuddle, but he'll try for you.
I don't want no cuddles. I made him at bed.
The possum says he can't wait.
We really gotta find another way to communicate with this mud creature.
I teach him 3 words: Mudman, Beely, and Tweech. It's very hard.
I know, it's hard to teach something to talk, isn't it?
So, you all bed down for the night.
Jaska. As you sit on watch, the sun slowly rising in the east, filtering through the leaves and glinting on the dew of the fall leaves below, you shiver. Fall has been progressing steadily since you joined Alvia and the Silverstone caravan, and the nights, especially here in the shade of the ironwood trees, can be quite cold. You stoke the campfire a bit and consider starting breakfast for the party, who will be waking up soon. Can I get a perception check?
Yes, you may. That is a 14.
So at the edge of your vision, you can see a patch of leaves that aren't covered in dew, but instead they are covered in frost. And you can give me a nature or a survival.
I'll choose survival. A 12.
So although you felt the weather growing cold the last few days, this doesn't make sense. It's much too early for frost, like full-on frost. So if you would like to investigate, you're welcome to get up. The party will be fine. It's just, you'll still be able to see them. You're not, like, going into the woods.
Yeah, sure.
I'll also take perception if your investigation's bad.
Perception.
My little ranger.
21.
Ooh. So as you draw closer to the patch of frost, you move the leaves aside, and as you touch the frost, the ice kind of melts against your fingers, and you find a strange crystal. It's white and cylindrical and about the shape of your hand.
Huh. I wonder what this could be. Can I get a Arcana check?
Well, it depends. Are you picking it up, or are you leaving it in the grass?
I'll pick it up.
Can I get a dex saving throw?
Yes. I rolled bad. That's 10.
Okay, well, 10 is all you need. It's very low. It's very low. So as you touch it, it's terribly cold, and you're surprised you almost drop it. So that dex is just to catch it.
Okay.
So it doesn't hit the ground. And you notice, as you catch it and the sun hits it, that it's not a crystal. It's an icicle. So if you want to do another investigation or perception, you can, to do more information about this icicle. Or I would take Arcana too if you wanted to do that.
Let's do perception. Natural 20 for a 25.
Ooh.
So you kind of hold it up to the rising sun to get a better idea. You kind of squint one eye and hold it up real close to the other. And it's not just an icicle. It has something in it that's vaguely humanoid shaped, like 2 arms, 2 legs, centralized head. So there's a humanoid figure inside your icicle. It's very small.
How close to morning is it?
The sun is currently rising,
Okay.
so these guys are going to start waking up literally any second.
I'll go and very carefully wake up Sintra. Hey, Sintra?
Yeah, what Jaska, yeah, what is it?
Hi, sweetie. Sorry to wake you up so early. I found something, and I know you're not exactly from these here parts, but you're closer to these parts than I've ever been. Do you know what this is? And I'll show you the crystal and point out the little figure that's inside of it.
I will take it and look at it, and what do I know?
Investigation, perception, arcana. I'll take any of those.
I'm gonna do perception.
And can I give the help action?
Oh, nice.
Since Jaska's there telling you everything that they noticed about it.
Well, that's gonna be a natural 20 for a 22 perception.
Nice.
It's a tiny figure encased in ice. That's what you get.
That's what I get.
That's
okay.
what you get with a perception check specifically. Well, I guess you could. Here's something that you can have. It is a creature. It's not like a carving or anything. It is an actual. At one point in time, definitely living. You aren't sure if it is still living.
It would still be alive if we were to like hold it over the fire.
Yeah, you aren't sure.
Slowly melt it. At this point, I'm actually gonna go see if I know both Twitch and Blackjack are much more magically inclined than I am. So I'm gonna go over to Blackjack first. Nudge him with my foot if he's not awake.
Yes. Oh, I was just about to wake up. Yes, of course. Oh, Sintra. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. And did you sleep well?
Yeah.
Well, and Jaska, you had your last watch. Is anything amiss?
Oh, not miss per se. I just found something a little weird. There seems to be some snow, and I found this icicle, and it's got something inside of it. We were kind of wondering if you could help us figure out what it is.
A bit early for snow and frost. Well, let's take a look at your little thing. It appears to be a person inside of an icicle.
If you wanted to do an arcana, you could find out some information that they haven't already discovered. In order to get new information, you're going to have to do a not perception check. In arcana or investigation, I also would take.
I'm proficient in investigation. Can I also give him the help action?
If he does an investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
For arcana.
Arcana. Okay, this is not naturally occurring ice. Some kind of ice magic has encased this creature inside this ice. So you get the vibe that it could be alive in there because it's magic ice.
Right, it seems like some kind of spell has actually encased this creature into ice. Do I feel like there's a way to melt the ice without damaging the creature?
You could just put it near the fire instead of in the fire, or you could just put them in your armpit or something.
If we are actually to put this over close to fire, not actually in the fire, it might melt the ice and we could find out who's been trapped inside of this ice spell, if you will.
Well, how about this? I will start breakfast, and as I do that, we will roast the icicle. Get the others up.
All right.
I'll go around waking the others up.
Mom, help. No, Mom.
Twitch, are you alright?
Yes, I'm all right. Why?
You were just kind of crying out in your sleep, and you seemed like you were having a nightmare.
You're hearing things. I'm fine.
Alright. If you ever need to talk, Twitch, I'm here for you. Okay?
What are they doing by the fire? Is that breakfast?
I found an icicle, and they're trying to melt it to get the creature out from it. There was a creature inside of it.
What did y'all get into? Move.
Little rat man body.
Twitch! Jaska actually found this creature trapped inside what I figured is some kind of ice spell. Maybe you could look at it and see a little bit more.
It's encased like an egg. Here, and he doesn't touch it. DM, can I mold earth out from under the fire a little bit? Place it here.
In the warm dirt.
And then wait.
Very good. Very good thinking, Twitch. It's a good reason we have you along.
Ziansi, it's time to wake up. I'm sorry, hon. Hello. You've missed quite an interesting morning. Sorry to be the one to wake you up last.
Yeah. You smell different when you're awake.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, what's everybody doing at the fire? Is it breakfast?
Well, a little bit of breakfast, and then also we're defrosting an icicle for a creature that's inside of it.
Ziansi, you're awake. Come take a look at this icicle person we found.
I really should have woken y'all all up at once so I didn't have to repeat myself. Sorry.
As they tell the situation, could I do a history check to see if I've heard any fae stories about encased in ice? Natural 14.
You know that fairies are powerful creatures, and some of them can cast ice spells.
Ziansi, what do you smell with your spider senses?
I glance over at Mudman.
Do you think it's another method? Like maybe an ice method?
To be clear, Billy and Mudman are sparring. He's training Mudman. But with the Mold Earth spell, it does a nice job at melting it kind of slowly. So Sintra makes breakfast, you guys are eating, keeping an eye on Icicle Man. As the ice melts, you see the figure of what looks like a tiny human as the ice melts around them and puddles beneath them. Their skin, the russet brown of fallen leaves. Their hair is maple leaf red in long braids pulled away from their face, bringing out the gold around their eyes. They're wearing what looks like breeches, a tunic, and a long coat, all made of leaves. As they warm near the fire, you can see the color return to their cheeks, and their eyes slowly open, and they sit up, and they look confused, and they're kind of rubbing their arms and trying to maybe shiver a little bit. And they look around, and as they stand, a little unsteady on their feet, golden wings unfurl from their back, mostly transparent except for a slight glimmer around the edges.
It's a fairy.
Their mouth moves as if they're talking, but you can't make out the words as they begin to float out of their little hole and fly over to the patch of leaves that you found them in, Jaska. And they lean over to pick up a frost crystal and then begin kicking at the leaves. Can I get a perception check? Anybody who wants to roll it can. Blackjack, you're gonna roll with advantage.
Jaska, move out of the way. I can't see.
17.
Anybody get higher than a 17? 20? As their mouth moves, the sounds that come out of their mouth don't make any sense to you, Twitch, because the sounds that come out of their mouth are like the crunch of fall leaves underfoot or the chittering of squirrels, a splash of water over rocks. Blackjack and Ziansi, you recognize this phenomena as similar to Sylvan.
I do speak Sylvan.
So it's a dialect that you can't make out every
I
single
recognize
word.
it is Sylvan.
You recognize that it's Sylvan. You understand enough to know that he's cursing.
He's kicking the leaves like he's looking for something. So, again, by definition, can I use mold earth to clear the leaves?
Sure.
Hey. Stop my foot in it.
They turn to look at you.
And I'll just move my hand across nothingness and clear some leaves around them.
It's really just dirt underneath, but the creature gets control of themselves. They take a few deep breaths, and then they take flight again. This time, they're gonna fly kind of in a circle around the whole group. And as they do, gold comes off of their wings and hits you all across your faces if you look up, or across your head and your shoulders if you don't. And you think you hear a sparrow sing a 4-note melody in a tree nearby, and you turn your head in that direction, and you see the tree, but there's no sparrow, and the tree seems to be growing. It was already quite tall. All the ironwood trees are tall, but it seems to go from 30 feet to 50 feet to 100 feet tall, and no matter how far you lean back, you can no longer see the top of the branches stretching towards the sky. And you hear a voice, much more efficient for communication. And you turn back and you see the fairy is tiny no longer. In fact, although Sintra still has a foot on them if she stands up straight, they're actually taller than the rest of you.
Hello.
Hello.
What?
So-
Why would you do this?
Mechanically, let me just tell you what happened.
We shrank.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
So the number-
Exactly what
You
happened.
didn't catch that?
No, exactly
You
what
did a great
happened.
job of describing it. I
Thank
felt like
you.
I was shrinking.
So the number of feet you are tall, you are now that many inches tall. So Sintra is now 7 inches tall instead of 7 feet.
Cool.
Mechanically speaking, for people who listen who love the crunch of Dungeons and Dragons. The tininess is all flavor. Mechanically, nothing is changing. You're all now tiny. Sintra goes from 7 feet to 7 inches. The idea is that you're all tiny now, and you're going to go on a little adventure. For the sake of brevity, we're also going to say that Jaska's tumbleweed and all of your items are also small.
What was that language you were speaking earlier?
It's fairy.
Sylvan is, of course, what
Yeah.
it sounded like. And, of course, we are from the Feywild ourselves. Are you from the Feywild? Or are you from here in the Ironwoods?
It's a great question. Let me just start at the beginning.
Of course.
It's just, hello.
Hello.
My name is Leighton Goldleaf, Princess of Autumn, Ducks of the Harvest, and Knight of the Golden Hour.
Oh, that's your name.
And my title?
Okay.
I'm
Leighton?
gonna just call you Leighton.
Yes, of course you can just call me Leighton. I don't expect. I'm just giving a bit of context.
Of course.
Firstly, thank you, kind creature, for helping me when I could not help myself. And they bow
course.
deeply to Jaska. Please take no offense by my saying so, but you are strange creatures to see in this part of the wood.
Well, there's been some really weird things happening in this place we call the Ironwoods for about a week now. Do you know anything about that? How long have you been here?
It's like asking how long has the sun been here? Me personally, I am a young adult, but fairies in general been here as long as the world has been here.
Well, do you know how you got encased in ice?
That is a good question. We shall come to it, my friends. But looking back to what you'll say, the odd things happening in the forest, in our small area of the forest, I haven't been that far away from the Vale ever, but I can certainly help. I have no knowledge of anything being just outrageously changing. We have been strangely more powerful, though. This is the best autumn we've ever made.
I do have to say, it's been a fantastic autumn. It looks fantastic. Congratulations on how good
It
the
really
trees look and
has.
everything.
Like all
Fantastic.
the
Thank you.
colors of the leaves changing. I don't see that much in the desert.
So, my parents put me personally in charge specifically of the leaves this year, so I'm very proud of them, so thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. It looks lovely.
Blackjack, Ziansi, you can give me a history at advantage.
15.
Oh, good. Okay, so Ziansi, as a creature that is very connected with nature and those kinds of things, you would know about the idea, the concept of seasonal fairies. Mm-hmm. So each season is brought on by a different type of fairy. So Leighton seems to be an autumn fairy and helped usher that in. But you understand the concept of fairies.
And then I explained that to the group.
Ah, yes, of course. Each season is brought upon by the royal family of that season. My family brought in this glorious autumn that we're currently experiencing. It's really our best. I know I've already said that, but very proud of it. We take over from the Verdant Green family, and the Verdant Greens take over for the Morning Flowers, who take over for the Snowfrosts.
So is there some type of conflict? Is that why you were encased in frost? Is it like someone trying to encroach on your time?
So, for the past 2 or 3 generations, the Snowfrost family has grown more and more ambitious. They bullied the Morning Flowers into delaying spring, and they're attempting to bully us into an early frost. But they haven't been aggressive or overt about their intentions until now, I believe. Anyway, I was here with Ophelia, the fairy I intend to marry. We were enjoying the sunset. I heard what sounded like a falling icicle, and I turned to look, but saw nothing there, and I turned back to Ophelia, thinking maybe we shouldn't be out here without a guard, when I heard her scream and the deep croak of a frog and saw a blast of ice coming straight at me. The Snowfrost family's got to be behind this. They're the only ones with ice magic.
And so you've lost Ophelia. That's who you were looking for.
Yes, they must have kidnapped Ophelia with the intention of holding her hostage and making me try to convince my parents into an early frost. I must return to the Vale and stop that early frost, but I do worry about Ophelia, so I'm kind of in a conundrum and wondering if I could call you to action.
I think we've got a Fey friend who's in trouble, and I can't imagine not helping them out.
And I whispered to Blackjack,
And they might know another portal.
They did say something about the Vale.
Yes.
And so maybe we could find a way back.
And we could get out of here quicker.
Exactly. So you have our assistance. If Jaska, Twitch, Sintra, Billy are willing to join as well, you definitely have our help.
Well, I don't think we got too much else going on, other than whatever's going on with that house and that key, but Pumpkin hasn't shown back up yet, so I guess this is about the only thing that we could do.
And Twitch, they were encased in, like, you've been looking for some type of thing within a thing, encasement or something. Maybe they know something.
So you're in charge of the leaves.
Yes. Aren't they glorious?
And you do know the forest, inside and out, probably.
Well, this is the first year that I've really been able to help with the golding of the leaves, or the gilding of the leaves, as we call it. I'm still relatively young, but I know people who know this forest very well, and I can talk to them and try to find out some things.
What about the fruits of the trees, the nuts? Is that your department?
Not me specifically, but they would be growing and falling during the autumn.
I'm showing this only. It's like a pecan that's been opened up.
Oh, like a drawing out of your book.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't seen that specifically, but there are many things. I could add it to the list of things to find out about. Also, a key.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that really pertains to this, but we met a talking cat, and their owner has this mansion that they lost the key to, and she's stuck inside the mansion. Blackjack and Ziansi believe that there might be some type of portal inside the mansion, so we were just gonna try and find a key.
Yes, the mansion was locked. And the lock looked something like this, almost like 4 things would fit in the slits around it with something in the middle. I don't know for sure where that key would be, possibly, but I'm looking for this nut. I need it for a very important ritual.
Ah, yes. I will send people out. We will look for this key. We will look for the nut. We'll try to find whatever it is. I can't imagine a life without Ophelia. So in order to save my love and save the forest for an eternal winter, you must find Ophelia for me.
Yes, of course. Leighton, where do you think we should go ahead and start?
Well, I think you should start with the frogs.
Red Dirt D&D Tales from the Ironwoods is Connor Shennold as Jaska and our Dungeon Master for Part 1. Kyri Hester as Billy and our Dungeon Master for Part 2. Brook Bullock as Ziansi, Johnnie Payne as Twitch, Ash King as Sintra, Aidyn Cross as our showrunner, and I'm Michael Cross as Blackjack. Special thanks to our Silver Star Paladin patron Shenanigans Unplugged. Our theme music was created by the Cinemagician PJ Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of tabletopaudio.com, Syrinscape and Monument Studios. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at reddirtdnd.com. If you enjoy the new campaign of Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we travel farther into the Ironwoods.
Only 2 run away.
That's true. But of course, there might be a wolf called Wildfire having classes on how to be a former goblin pet, and so
Life after goblinhood, life after the burrow.
Right next to where you
He has
record
released
your
a
OE.
memoir.
Is Wildfire,
need to find a new employment? Come to Wildfire.
is Wildfire teaching those classes right next to the room where you record your OETA? Here's how the economy works. Video for children. Because that was perfect. You can do those.
Again, just in my notes, Blackjack explains capitalism.
Didn't we have another goblin? Did he end up dying?
He died.
He got killed.
You
make it.
critted on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sintra
right.
didn't make
The dice killed him, Michael.
You didn't pull the trigger. The gun just went off.
Guns don't kill people. These hard little bullets that come out of them do.
It was an Eldritch Blast. Thank you very much.
For that joke, be sure and catch the Roundtable episodes 5 through 8.
We lost Ash.
Good night, everybody.
Now that your pa and your ma are dead, you're orphans. So you're ripe for adventure.
It was definitely, if Billy dies, he's coming back as a goblin who was recently orphaned.
We've just created the backstory for all the replacement
Just
characters.
find yourself a tavern. You're set.
One of those goblins gets a weird fascination with bats. He just becomes very obsessed.
As Blackjack is saying all of this, Sintra's thinking through things, and I just look at you and I mouth the word babies. The promise of, if they don't take you in, we'll take you in.
Oh no, I just did that for the DM and made sure that
That's just for story flavor.
Make sure this is going to work.
Tis empty promise. We will not take them.
to a place where they can grow up big and strong, and it'll be wonderful.
Okay, you talk so much. I'm so confused.
I do talk a lot, and
Blackjack.
It's better to just
Let
leave.
the goblin, let the goblin scatter off.
He will continue to talk. You just go.
just leave me, and
And take your time, like an hour, short rest or something.
You were just kind of upfront with that when we first met you, so we didn't know it was still kind of a sensitive topic.
right. And I was just simply saying that
See Billy mask trauma with humor. We work on it in therapy.
It takes them about 10-15 minutes before they start to...
They're the Von Traps.
okay.
The goblins, they will burst out into song.
Suddenly, the possum is off singing "The Hills Are Alive."
Hills are alive.
How do you solve a problem like Kyri.
There's too much going into the outtakes already, guys. Calm down.
We got to set the tone here.
Uh-huh.
We need some plausible deniability set in.
No, it's not a good squeeze. I'm sorry.
It's
they
a
don't
stretch.
think
That was a stretch.
So they don't think we've joined up with the wrong side and we're coming to attack.
Okay, yeah, I'll relay everything that happened.
And
more
I'll
than
try
you guys
that.
Kevin.
I'll try that again later.
I think so. Because that's going on the cutting room floor.
not even the gag reel.
It was a good
Oh,
time.
it'll probably go on the gag room.
Okay,
Just for you.
thanks. I almost don't know if I should bow or curtsy when he was declared leader earlier. I was like, oh, hold on.
What is your name to the team?
I'm Tack.
And that one's name?
Who?
The one right over there, but to your left. And the one behind him. And the one behind him.
That's a horrible.
Stop it! You're being mean!
Hey, Brooke, meet me in the parking lot.
I'll show up too. In comes Connor with a steel chair.
I'm Tack. This is Back. This is Cack. This is Dak. This is Fack. This is Gack. Hack.
I'm gonna pay for that later.
Tweet, you said this Mudman.
And you call me Mouse Man.
All is man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever.
You recognize that it's Sylvan. You understand enough to know that he's cursing.
And I say,
Spanish versus Portuguese.
yeah, this is a family-friendly podcast. I wouldn't talk like that.
That is a good question. We shall come to it, my friends.
Oh, we got another taco. Okay.
I'm starting to believe that it's just a trait of the Feywild.
I think you're right on this, Sintra.
You're all tiny now, and you're going to go on a little adventure. Where if you remember when you asked me back in the round table like forever ago, oh Kyri, what should we expect from you? I was like, oh, we're just gonna go on a little adventure.
Good callback.
For the sake of brevity, we're also gonna say that Jaska's tumbleweed and all of your items are also small.
That's fine. And the Mudman is all.
And Mudman is teeny tiny man.
Teeny tiny man.
He's one drop of mud. For anyone out there who